Wow. Just wow. This has been the biggest trading week in terms of profits for me. And to be honest, I felt like this was coming at some point as long as I kept my risk management tight and I let the winners run. But at the same time, I'm trying to remind myself that I am in no way special. I am just one trade away from blowing up. And on days that I lose, I should also remind myself that these types of weeks are gonna come as long as I don't blow up my account. And it's the same as you. If you lost money this week, big or small, these kinds of weeks will come. As long as you have your account, as long as you have proper risk management, and as long as you let your winners run. What's happening, traders? If you're new here, please subscribe as I post weekly trading videos, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. So we have quite the recent exits for this week because I closed a lot of positions this week, but I'm just gonna skim through all of them, and if I believe that there's a lesson to be learned in any of this, I'll be explaining them in detail. And also don't forget to follow me on Twitter as I post there my entries and my exits. And if you want to reach out, you can also DM me there. So firstly, SKLZ, I entered this after this gap and expecting that if this gap holds, then we can see a bullish move. My fills for SKLZ, as you can see here, entered partially and then added as the trade confirms my thesis. Sold here before this dump. And I got 1.8R in this trade. Next is OEG. I traded this before. And as you can see here, this actually was trending up. So I entered expecting a move higher. But then as you can see, it's just sideways. So my fills on OEG, as you can see here, adding full size but cutting it prematurely when it was going sideways. So as you can see, 0.7R. Next is RVP. I traded this before, I lost on it, and then so I thought I was just shaken out, so I entered again, and again I exited for a loss. So fills for RVP, as you can see here, entered again, cut it, doesn't confirm my trade thesis, and as you can see, just 1/3 of my full size. Next is HOL. I entered this thinking that it was gonna break. This was its all-time high then added as it confirms, and then just exited when the move that I expected wasn't there. So these are my fills, as you can see, added here, exited when it broke this level, so I just gained there 1.2R. AMRS, you know this from last week's scan. I was here partially but didn't really get to full size because by the time that it gapped up, I thought it was a bit higher for my liking. I was looking for it to just retest these levels, but it did not, so I took partial as planned and sold it right around the last profit target. So for AMRS, I only got partial here, just 1/3 of my size. Sold here and sold some again pre-market, and as you can see, I got a decent 1.2R return for just 1/3 of my risk. AREC, I had a very strong conviction on this trade, but unfortunately this was the time that the cannabis sector was running, so I believe that was why this did not get any momentum. So I exited this trade for a loss, and my feels for this, as you can see it here, looking for it to squeeze, and I exited it here as it did not confirm, and this is actually a new trade, so you can disregard this, and I lost one full risk or 1R. BSQR, the same idea with AREC. I was expecting this to squeeze, and this one did squeeze, so I entered here as it squeezed and then added full size. Was waiting for this to squeeze more, but unfortunately this was its stop, so I sold some here and I sold again for the trailing stop when it did not had the momentum to go on. So I got here a 1.5R gain. CLNE, this was a very nice setup. I confirmed this level but just didn't get the momentum it needed. So my fills on CLNE, as you can see here, added along the way, waiting for a bigger move to take partial, but then it did not had the momentum, so I cut it for 1R loss. So APHA, ACB, and HEXO, you know these stocks from last week's scan. I had positions on this before Monday. So I sold all of it on this day when the market was selling off. But it was selling off without any news. So when this panic happened, I waited for a bounce for at least maybe 50% of the sell-off move. So you know, Fibonacci traders use that Fibonacci retracement of 50%. And I was trying to protect the account, was trying to protect my profits. And my thought process was, if I sell this here around 50%, if it bounces and it goes up and it reclaims, then I know that the market was not in a panic mode and will not continue to gap down, which is, in a situation for me, that means I can always find new opportunities somewhere. And in the case that if I sold this and it continues to go down, then I protected my account and I protected my profits. So in any case, it was a win-win for me, and just reassess what the market does after. So feels for APHA, as you know, I got here, sold some here, sold most of it here when the market was selling off, and I got 6.6R. So ACB, same idea, got some here, added here, sold partially here, 16.3. All of my cannabis stocks I sold partially, 20%. Then this was the day I sold most of it, so I got here 4R. HEXO, again, as I've said in my previous scan, this felt like it was a chase for me, so I didn't get any good entry, but nevertheless, I got out of it with a 2.7R gain. So JG, this was the time that I felt like the market was shifting, or at least for my strategy, or at least for the meantime, because the stocks were not having the follow through that they were having in prior days. As you can see in BSQR, this was the same kind of setup, but I lost on it as I felt like there was no momentum, so I lost here 1R. TRXC, so this was the trend line break, the setup, then there was a key level here I added when the trade confirmed. So my feels for TRXC, I have here the partial, full size, took partial sizes along the way, and I got here a 6.5R return. WIMI, these kinds of stocks are not really for me. These stocks have very erratic moves, as you can see in the price action. Moving forward, I should take note of this. So the feels for WMI for me, partially only, didn't go full size, it did not confirm, so I lost here 0.7R. TGC, another trade that I entered that did not put up a fight. So I entered here when it broke this key level, entered partially after hours, entered again pre-market, looking like it confirmed 4 level, but unfortunately it did not go my way. So feels TGC, I wasn't in here full size because this did not confirm, so I lost about 0.7R. Another trade I entered that did not put up a fight, JFU. So I entered after hours and then thinking that this was gonna go higher. Actually it did, but I don't think this was the move that I was waiting for. So I held and then it just tanked. Feels for JFU, I have here 2.35. I sold all of it with a 0.6R loss. So ADTX, my main mistake here is this was on Thursday when I felt that the market was shifting away from the strategies that have been working lately. So I made a decision to just enter 1/3 and wait for the confirmation before adding another one or adding to full size, but I anticipated the move and I paid the price. Feels for ADTX, as you can see here. This was actually 2 orders. I entered and then I entered again and I paid the price with about 3/4 of my full risk loss. Last but not the least, RAVE. I entered this partially when these levels 1.41 and 1.53 held. So when I woke up, I saw that this was at 1.9 and broke this high, and I thought to myself that this was gonna continue to squeeze after hours, and knowing that we had a long weekend coming, this will be on people's radar. So I entered full size 1.9 and then it went back down. My stop didn't get hit at this moment, but I had the decision to hold for the long weekend and a move higher or it gaps down. So I decided to just cut it. So my feels for Rave, as you can see, this is not a 1R because I did not want to take that risk of a gap down. Before we proceed, remember that Monday is a holiday, so markets are closed. And remember to to hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. If you have stocks that you are watching for next week that are very interesting, let us know in the comment section down below. You can also ask me questions by leaving a comment. So for this week, I'll be joining the in positions and the watch list for next week, since all of the positions that I am in are also on my watch list because I have partial sizes on them. So first is AREC. I traded this before as explained, and in here when this was teasing this level, and I thought it was gonna go higher, but I didn't have any confirmation yet, so I only placed about 1/3 of an R. This was my feel on AREC when it broke and it looked like it was having a higher low. So CPSH, this was on watch for me for a couple of days now, looking at this 23 level. Was watching this and finally it broke out, so I entered partially. I'm actually right now entering with 1/3 maximum until I see a confirmation, or if this pulls back 23, 24 level, so I can size in with risk below maybe 23. So my feel for CPSH, as you can see, just 1/3 size, 25.6. So BRQS and Mara, I have the same trade thesis for this. Bitcoin is curling up and we have a very long weekend, so a lot can happen. And with this, I feel like this can consolidate or break out. So I'm using BRQS and Mara as an exposure to that possible move. So my feel for BRQS, again, just 1/3, partial size only. So Mara, the same thesis as BRQS. I had the option of entering Mara, Riot, or BTBT, but Mara looked like the one not yet breaking out and not yet very extended in relation to Bitcoin's chart. As you can see here, Riot is kind of extended for me. BTBT doesn't have that relative strength that you would want. So here's my feel for Mara, 39.09. So LIZI, the same as CPSH. I had this on watch for a couple of days now, looking for this 13.85 level to confirm. And this is its all-time high in the daily. Looking for this to consolidate or pull back for me to size up. And Lizzy, I got in 16.2. And lastly, for my watch plan for FTFT, entering if it pulls back around 7.5, or if it consolidates around this level, or if this 8.42 level is looking like a key level and will be supported for the next few days. And if you find value in this video, please help me grow this channel by hitting the like button, subscribing if you haven't done so, sharing this to your family and friends, and just leave a comment down in the section below. Before we go, you will get 2 free stocks if you use the link down in the description below. Sign up to Webull and deposit $100. With that being said, respect risk and continue to hustle, trade, and invest.